after that game. We were in the tunnel. It was sheer chaos in there.
It was bedlam.
So where were you for the Hail Mary?
I was standing midway up the tunnel, trying to look at the field and at the TV.
The TV in the hallway going down to the locker room?
No, the one
above the tunnel.
The one above where you saw me at.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was in the press box, and as things are kind of unraveling there, you wonder. So Jaden takes the snap, rolls right. Did
he have that thing about 15 seconds?
13 seconds. After the game, DQ was like, that was a long-ass play.
But think about it. The play, this was what threw me a little bit. I looked up on the clock. It was supposedly 18 seconds on the clock. They ran one play, then it was 5 seconds on the clock. What the hell happened right there?
I'll try to pull it up. They called a timeout at 6 seconds. No, it was
18, then it stopped at 5.
1st and 10 at the 24. Jaden goes deep to Ertz over the middle, incomplete. Then 2nd and 10 from the 24. Jaden connects with Ertz for 11. They had to call their timeout there. So it went from 12 to 6.
Okay, I just looked at it last.
Then they were able to get
18.
They were able to get one more playoff to Terry for a 13-yard gain, and he got out of bounds. Which, honestly, if you're the Bears, like that might be
that was a backbreaker right there.
Because it makes it a reasonable throw, because then you've got the ball at midfield. It was 1st and 10 from the 48, 2 seconds left. I mean, the play was unbelievable. You don't want to start to dive into too much grandiosity, but like, what the hell do these guys have cooking? All week, I mean, Jaden was clearly beat up. I'm not saying he was hurt, but like, he doesn't feel great. He took a couple shots to the ribs. We know
they were trying to get in his head. They were hitting him late. They were trying to get in his head.
Bears have a good defense too. Yeah. I mean, they deserve some credit. But to win like that was just so spectacular, so unexpected, and all of it just kind of continues to add up. And Brian, I've covered probably every game for that team for over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And I've watched games since I was a boy, right? Like, I've never experienced something like that in a home. No, there have been bigger games, right? There have been playoff wins and Super Bowl wins, and even like of the new era, which has largely sucked. There still have been bigger games. Week 17, 2012 won the division, right?
Yes.
There have been bigger moments, but no singular moment, no singular instance of that kind of play resulting in that kind of pandemonium and that kind of just ecstasy has existed.
It's just an extension of all the excitement that's been going on. You know, you look at this thing when they purchased the team. People were so excited then. Then you go to Adam Peters. Then you go to Dan Quinn. And you start getting some people in. All of a sudden, boom, you draft Jaden. It's like it's constant. And I forgot who it was yesterday. They said when you win games like that, it lets you know you're a good team. Because everybody like to say, "Oh, that was luck. That was that." You know what? Know what happens? No, who's lucky? People that are good.
Well, and people that put themselves in position.
Hell yeah.
Terry McLaurin talked about this at his locker after the game. They practice that tip drill all the time.
Yeah.
He's like, DQ has us go through end of game scenarios. We practice that tip drill all the time. And look, that's something that there are probably some dudes that are like, man, why are we practicing this? This is never going to actually happen.
I ain't got an answer for him.
Right. Like,
he got an answer for him now.
Is there an element of luck involved? Hell yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you put yourself in position to take advantage of that.
Well, I'll say this, Jay. Jaden Daniels came on our show right after the game.
Yeah,
immediately,
I saw that.
And I'm gonna tell you this: that kid is so damn polished and good. He said, "Man, everybody gonna talk about that play right there." He said, "But our defense won that game." He said the defense gave us an opportunity and kept us in the game the whole time. You look at it, 4 field goals, and the defense basically was not allowing a lot. You know, but if you keep putting them out there, you know, the other team, you got NFL players, they're going to make some plays eventually. But that defense yesterday, to me, they were playing the pass rush and all that. They were, Newton, bad man.
Johnny Newton's
really
had his coming out party. I thought
boy.
they weirdly haven't. I'm hoping this gets changed, but it might be a stupid rule thing. Johnny Newton had his first sack. It wasn't scored as a sack because technically Caleb might have been running backwards. I think it was a sack all damn day. I hope he gets it just
he behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, but if the scorekeeper determines that it was a design run, which I don't think it was, I'm hoping it gets changed.
Yeah,
rookie deserves his first sack, but then he also has a fumble recovery. They also got what also helped is Shane Waldron, and why you're handing the ball off on a
man. Refrigerator Perry's not playing anymore.
Dude,
what the hell are you doing?
I mean, it's just so dumb. Caleb Williams was god awful through 3/4 of this thing, and the defense deserves a lot of credit. And whatever's going on with him is an issue. If you look defensively, to your point, Brian, they were 2-12 on third down in this game. 2-12, the Bears. 2-12 on third down in this game. Penalties were a factor for both teams. They won in time of possession. Caleb at halftime, I think, had 33 yards passing.
He was 4 of it was 12 or something like that at halftime.
It was, I think he was 3 of 12, and
he finished up, but 10 of 20 something.
Yeah, he
finished 131,
10 of 24 for $130.
Yeah,
which, and Jaden, the yardage is helped out by a 50, whatever it was, 58-yard bomb at the end.
He still had 270 before that,
right? and Jaden finished 21 of 38 for 326 with a touchdown. Ran it 8 times for 52 yards. I think Jaden has shown and continues to show, but the guts of that kid are damn near impossible to measure.
Yeah.
And I've said this before, like, what matters when you see your quarterback, because the quarterbacks get to operate in their own universe. Like, there's the team and then there's the quarterbacks.
Yep.
And the quarterbacks that can thread that needle to be part of everything and doing their own thing, they do it by showing how tough they are. That the old lineman with the bone bruise in his calf, or the DB that's playing through a sprained tricep, like, those guys are gutting it out, right?
Yeah. And
when the quarterback does that, it just means so much to the locker room.
Especially if your quarterback is that type of quarterback, and that elevation of it, that quarterback right there definitely does it for you. I think what I look at ultimately is this. What Brett Favre did in Green Bay, when Brett Favre was getting long and Warren Sapp face and anybody else, your team say, I could back that guy. Jaden Daniels, he does it in a different way where he's so humble and he makes himself a part of everybody else, where guys want to go to war for you.
Totally.
So I was like, all week, I know you were banged up, and how did you get there? He said, man, I had the same routine. I was there at the same time. I was leaving at the same time I usually leave. He said, but I had a long stint in the training room to get myself here. And I don't think he was 100%, but who the hell would still look at that game yesterday and say he was not supposed to be on the field? You know what I mean? The guy, he's tough as hell. And ever since I saw, when I came here, I showed you that video I saw on social media.
Yeah.
When I saw that in my mind, and I was trying to keep it cool, I'm like, this dude's going to play. Dude cracks his ribs to go back in the game in college and destroys the football team.
Yep.
He has these weeks to get ready. The NFL pro, they're going to allow him that opportunity to heal up. In college, he probably wouldn't have had that opportunity like that. I felt he would go, and I think he was not completely on like he is, but he was on enough.
I was pretty certain.
On enough.
Yeah, I was pretty certain by Thursday afternoon he was going, to the point where if anybody saw me on NBC4 on Friday afternoon, we taped that on Thursday. Don't tell anybody. But because I had to leave the radio. Like, I had something I had to do that afternoon, so it was like a unique situation. But then, certainly when they let him talk to the media Friday afternoon, it's like, all right, this kid's playing.
Yeah.
And then Vegas adjusts the line. Like, at some point, the mystery was over.
You look for the Shefty to start putting out his little stuff, and
attempt to try to play. Attempt
to try was a little weird,
right?
But then he starts saying the word. It looks like he's leaning toward. Once he says that means I'm just not telling y'all right now.
Well,
I'm going to drag you along until the next day. And then on Saturday, you basically feel, he's playing.
One of my favorites was Schefter. I think it was Saturday, had the talk to one source. Sounds like Jaden Daniels will play. Quote, he's one tough ass dude. I can think of one source in that building that used tough ass or long ass. That's his go-to descriptor, and I think we might know who that was. But regardless, Tracy Wolfson. Here's what I'll say: Dan Quinn described the Hail Mary play last night as one long ass play. Tracy Wolfson was on the CBS broadcast yesterday, and she just tweeted this out. My Monday morning recap. I've been a part of a lot of incredible games, but that one is right at the top. Right now, it's Washington's world, and we are all living in it. When a team has it, things tend to just work out. Think Chiefs. This Commanders team is special.
Yep.
And that, leaving that game, leaving that stadium, you know how I always called a doc on the post game? Couldn't even get through.
Hey, man. I left. So I was there an hour and something later. Like you're there later than me, but when I left, normally I could just roll out.
Right.
Wasn't no rolling out yesterday.
People were vibing.
The fans might have left out the building, but they didn't leave the parking lot.
Yeah, dude.
they were tailgating like hell out there, man, having a good time. So luckily I was just going only like 0.4 miles up the street.
Sure.
To get where I was going. But it was the atmosphere was outstanding. And listen, Tanner and I sitting there, bro. I had to apologize to Tanner. I think I almost broke his hand when I high-fived him, But dog, what was it? Channel 7, Abraham.
Yeah,
bro. I grabbed the two shoulders. I was jumping like I was 10 years old, man. It's like when I
saw you by the time I got
man, when you enjoying this thing, when things are going like it's going, I don't care who you are, former player, old person, young person, new, whatever. You're gonna let it come out. And for people that don't want to believe things about this team right now, one finger salute to you. Get the hell out of here. Get out. They have proven enough about how good they could possibly be. And let's think about this. As Brian said last night, Brian Colbert, we haven't played our best game yet. We still haven't played a complete game.
Both sides of the ball.
Yes.
Yeah. Because offensively, they were at their best.
3 phases of the ball.
Sure.
Don't be forgetting about special teams.
Cincy, I think they played really good specials too.
Yeah.
They haven't played all 3 phases.
There you go.
Their best.
So just imagine that.
Yeah. Last night we've been seeing this cocktail build of like the Snyder stench is finally gone, right? Like he's been gone for over a year now. And how about the light show last night?
Yeah.
Like, how did you know that was coming?
No,
bro. So there was the one thing they need to invest in.
When it first happened, I was like,
Wi-Fi.
oh, hold on now. The light didn't go out, did it?
Dude.
And then it started to move around. I'm like, okay, that was playing.
So for folks that didn't see this, because it was during a TV timeout, so they might not have shown it. It was, I want to say, fourth quarter. Now it ends up that PR had texted like the group of reporters, hey, just so you know and are aware, there's about to be a light show. Don't be alarmed when the lights go out. But my phone was wacky yesterday, and I didn't get that text till like after the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there. I want to say it was fourth quarter. Maybe it was late third, whenever it was. But this is what, like, maybe they do it here in Maryland. Like dope college football stadiums do these light shows.
Yeah.
And like the first time I ever experienced it was at the Bama LSU game. But so they go to TV timeout. We're all in the stadium, and it just goes dark. Like all the lights go off, and I was like, yo, the electricity just go out? Like what the hell just happened?
Uh-huh.
And then it was like 2-3 seconds of darkness, and then this wild light show. And it was just another reminder of how new and different everything is there. Because you know how you get dope ass light shows, Brian? You spend money.
There you go.
Like some of things in life aren't that complicated. Ownership is putting the money in to make the scene, the vibe, the experience that much better. And at the end of that game, when I was just watching the players run into the locker room and the celebratory nature of everything, and then you go out on the field and the fans are still there just going nuts, and you see it on social media, you just kind of see it across the board, and you realize like they have this mix of new ownership, doing things the right way, willing to spend money to reinvest into the product.
Yeah.
And dude, Adam Peters, you can pick which free agent signing you want to discuss or which draft pick you want to discuss. How about Noah Brown? How about the guy that caught the Hail Mary touchdown last night? He signed him when the Texans cut him, and he moved immediately to sign him.
Yep.
The moves Peters has made have hit
They're working
so consistently.
Yes.
Go down a level. And, there was a fair amount of consternation when Dan Quinn got the job, right? Oh, you can't hire a defensive guy. Oh, I think there was real burnout from the talk of culture during Ron's 4 years. Whatever DQ is doing, it's different and it's working.
You know what he's doing?
The level of buy-in.
What he's doing is actively getting the people to understand what he wants. He's not just saying it all the time. See, that little thing about if you say something often enough, people begin to believe it. No, you can say it all you damn want. If you don't put the work into it, it's not going to happen. And you can watch this football team and things that they do on the field, they actively do during practice. They actively done since they got here in OTAs and all that. It's just a combination of, all of a sudden it's starting to click. And it's starting to click on a regular basis. It's not all that talk. Like I was a little saying, don't talk about it, be about it. They're being about it. We had too much talk going on before.
I totally agree with that. And if you just think about, like the levels, the tiers of it. Ownership on board.
Yep.
Front office, you got the guy. Coaching. A lot of coaching is just dialing the knobs up right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Cliff's offense, what they're doing defensively, the improvement and the buy-in of just the team vibe. And Brian, then when you add the quarterback, like it starts to look like, holy moly, they got something. You know what I mean?
It definitely does.
Something sustainable and something real and not just a sugar high like we've seen in the past. It's
I think what happens though, coaching is understanding that your job rides on how well you communicate with those players. If they get exactly what you're saying and you can get it across to them the proper way, then great things will happen. But there are a lot of coaches out there who think it's all about them. Okay, they get caught up in that little hype. Like I've said to you before, coaches have bigger egos than players. Well, this coach here doesn't care about the ego. He cares about getting his players to play, and they're doing it for him.
I don't know that there's a lot of concern about ego on the team. Sack totals, touchdown, you know what I mean? All that. Like, and that I would credit to a rookie quarterback in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Jaden's not. Dude is not worried about his Instagram. He's not worried about his. Remember, like he had the thing with the waffles, and then I asked him about it. He's like, "Yeah, man, I got to tell you the truth. Like somebody else handles that stuff. Like I'm not really that invested. Like he's just that dude is about ball, and then the team in turn is about ball."
What I always say, Jay, if your first job is great, then you can think about a second. He's worried about the first job. How many guys you see come in and all they try to do is become something big off the field, but you're not big on the field, you won't be big off the field.
And that's not to say that stuff ain't coming. I can imagine how many commercials are coming. Yes,
because he's invested in the right thing. But too many people worry about what's going to happen instead of what they need to get done.
You got to credit like his family, his background, clearly to develop a young man like to that level right now. But when Ryan Keel I was texting with him this morning, and he's like, "Man, it's hard to ignore the momentum they're building right now."
Yeah.
And this is former players with Super Bowl rings that notice these things. You know what I mean? And as fans, as analysts, as media, as people that are surround it and have been around it for a long time, you see last night and you know something is different.